Hi, my name is Courtney Shirey. A little bit about me. I graduated from West Chester University in 2017. Currently, I work at Claremont Elementary in the Solanco School District. This is my second year. This is my first year in third grade, and then last year I was a fifth grade teacher. My hobbies outside of work, I enjoy crafting. I just recently got a Cricut, so I've been using that a lot. I enjoy reading, spending time with my family and my cats, and watching movies. So I broke the strategies into enablers, floaters, and destinations. So the enablers, without these, we would not have a clear picture of where we are going. Some takeaways from strategy 1. We set learning targets and objectives to set a purpose for instruction. We want this to occur at the beginning or before we begin independent practice. We should check to make sure that students are aware of the learning target at the heart of the lesson. Some takeaways from strategy 2, using strong and weak models to help guide students, using examples of anonymous student work, engaging students in analyzing examples, and then modeling creating a product and allowing students to see revisions to help encourage perseverance through the hardships. And from strategy 3, some takeaways. The feedback helps students answer where I am now and where do I need to be. Offer feedback instead of grades on practice work, and then try having students participate in peer feedback. And then the floater strategies. These can happen at any time and generally involve other strategies. So strategy 5, some takeaways from that, check for understanding during a lesson and guide instruction based on this. So strategy 6 involves strategy 5, so we narrow a lesson to focus on specific misconceptions and problems that were found in strategy 5. Then we build learning one step at a time and give students opportunities to revise their own work, product, or performance based on the feedback that we give them. And then we have destination strategies, and this is where we want students to be as a result of learning in the classroom. So strategy 4, some takeaways from that. Teach students to self-assess and create goals. Students should work to provide their own feedback. Practice, so students are able to answer, what have I done well? Where do I need to continue working? And all students can learn to monitor and regulate their learning. Strategy 7, some takeaways. Students should reflect on their learning and progress, and this helps students understand themselves better as a learner. So how do the 7 strategies align with my own teaching practices and philosophy? So my practice, a few strategies I feel I am able to do easily and have used within my classroom frequently are strategies 1, providing the expectations, 5, using the evidence of student learning to determine next steps, and 6, designing instruction based on that feedback. Also, I feel like I do touch on 7, providing students opportunity to track, reflect, and share their learning progress. The other strategies I find I might use periodically, but not as frequently as I probably should be. I especially feel like I would like to strengthen my abilities to foster strategy 2, using examples and models. I also would like to strengthen my abilities to foster strategy 4, teaching students to self-assess and set goals. Although I do implement these 2 strategies in my classroom, I feel there is definitely room to strengthen these. And then my philosophy, various items discussed in the chapter relate to my thoughts and philosophy regarding teaching. The strategies and the many items discussed in this chapter are relating to an autonomy supportive classroom and building on intrinsic motivation, which is something I'm working to build and create in my classroom as I continue in my teaching career. Intrinsic motivation is important in creating a learning environment that is motivated by students' desires to succeed. I feel that many of the strategies relate to this, but especially strategies 4 and 7. Building the growth mindset is also something that I work to achieve in my classroom, and many of the assessment practices put into place by teachers affect this type of mindset. Building on positive assessment practices can help increase this mindset and work towards a learning goal approach, as discussed in Chapter 1. Thank you.